A very warm welcome to all the students of grade 9. We are here to proceed with our syllabus, the next lesson being nutrition. Children, before going ahead, I just believe that all of you are going through your previous lessons, revising the lessons, practicing the diagrams, learning the definitions as well, okay? Now, coming to this lesson of nutrition, we all are aware of this, the importance of nutrition, the importance of balanced diet, especially in these days of lockdown where we are staying at home. What are we supposed to eat? We are not supposed to just be very careless about what is going down in our stomach. We are supposed to have a very balanced diet. We are supposed to have exercise or some kind of workout to keep ourselves healthy. Furthermore, in this lesson, we are actually going to study what are the food groups made up of. Like we already are aware of the food groups, that is carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. But what are they composed of? And just in case we miss out with those important food groups, what kind of deficiencies we face? That is what is the content or the concept or the objectives that we are going to study in this lesson. So, children, to begin with, let us look at the definition of nutrition first. Nutrition, it's the supply of essential organic and inorganic chemical compounds to the body. All sorts of the inorganic and organic compounds are required by the body in proper amounts. Okay. Food, it is any substance which we eat, drink, and which contains nutrients. That is what the food is about, which is very much a needed thing for human beings or say animals to exist. Diet, it is the combination of food items which we eat in our meals. So all these definitions they do look similar, but they vary. Okay, diet is something that is a combination of the food items that we have in our meals. And then furthermore, we're going to see what is balanced diet. It is not just any amount of food that we can have. It is as per our age, our gender, height, everything. We need to have a very proper and balanced amount of the food groups. That is what we are going to see. Balanced diet, see, it is the one which contains all the principal constituents of food in proper quantity for a particular person. Principal constituents are the main constituents in proper quantity for a particular person. It is going to be different from person to person, just as I told you with respect to various parameters. Okay, now that is what we are going to see. Balanced diet at a particular person depends on age, gender, lifestyle, and special need of a person. If the person is sick, if it is a nursing mother or it is an old person, so it's going to be different and not very common to all of us. What is the need of nutrition? Okay, why are we supposed to have a very proper amount of food? So that it helps us to grow. There are repairing of the cells being done constantly. There is the requirement of the energy. Furthermore, there's a maintenance of chemical composition of cells, provision of raw materials for secretion of enzymes and hormones that actually controls the metabolism in our body. Then we have protection from diseases and infection, a very important component. Right now we need to protect ourselves from this COVID virus. So, and we all are aware that one thing is going to help us to survive through it in any circumstances, that is no doubt we need to take precautions, but it is your immune system that is going to be very, very helpful to fight against coronavirus. So please take care of yourself, have a very balanced diet. Yeah, what are the classes of nutrition? The 6 classes are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, and vitamins, and water. Okay, even water has certain kind of minerals which are required by the body. Let us begin with the first food group, that is carbohydrates. The compounds of carbohydrates are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay, these all molecules come together to form a carbohydrate, and which are oxidized to release energy. They include sugar, starch, cellulose, etc. So we are going to have an insight into what sugars are. Sugars are sweet soluble. They are very sweet and they are soluble in cold water. There are 2 types: monosaccharides or simple sugars, disaccharides or double sugars. Yes, the first kind is monosaccharides. By the name itself, we can make out that it is something of a singular quantity, right? Mono. Okay, the formula for which is C6H12O6. They are digested directly by the body without any kind of a digestion process. Okay, no metabolism is required, they are directly absorbed, you can say, instead of digested. Yeah, there are three types. One is glucose, which is also called as grapefruit. And it is the simplest sugar, also known as the blood sugar. That is what the sugar which we check out is there any major amount of sugar or less amount of sugar, whatever it is in the blood. That this is what we check, the glucose level, in case of a, I need to find out whether we have a diabetes or something. Next is fructose. It is common in plants, called as fruit sugar. Okay, when we consume fruits, this is what the sugar we are consuming, that is a fructose. And galactose is another simple sugars found in milk. Disaccharides, general formula being here C12 H22O11, everything in double amounts here, it is di. Okay, this disaccharides do require digestion process. Okay, there are three types of these. Again, sucrose, commercial sugar obtained from sugarcane, made of double sugars, glucose and fructose. Obviously, we are aware about what the sugar we consume in our tea or coffee or whatever, so which is obtained from the sugar cane, that is sucrose. Maltose is one form of sugar that is found in milk, and there are two glucose molecules. Lactose is again a milk sugar made up of glucose and galactose. So there are two components coming up from the milk product. Okay, one is maltose, one is lactose, the other coming from the sugar cane. Next is starch, the formula for which is C6H12O5. It is an insoluble carbohydrate. Okay, the plants store these sugars in the form of carbohydrates. Potatoes, grains, bread are the sources. We all are aware, like we are all, you people especially, the growing children need a lot of starch or say carbohydrate, because you need a lot of energy. It is called as polysaccharide as well, because there are many saccharides coming together to form this. There are two forms of it. One is cellulose, which is found in the cell wall of plants, and it is mostly unused, but it helps in providing roughage. Next is glycogen. This is a carbohydrate found in the animal. So that is the main difference between cellulose and a glycogen, which are the forms of the sugars or the starch. Next is roughage. Okay, it is a non-digestible cellulose. Because it is fibrous, it absorbs a lot of water and retains it, and thus prevents constipation. We all know that why are we supposed to have roughage, because it is fibrous in nature, which is going to retain water and make the passage of the feces is easy. See, improves bowel movement. Bowel movement is nothing but the intestinal movements for the passage of the feces. It stimulates the muscle contraction during this passage of this feces. And what are you supposed to eat for that? You're supposed to eat vegetables, fruits, and half crushed wheat, and cabbage is a good form of roughage in whichever form you have it, but do have it. Okay, if you do not like the sabji made, you can have it in the form of a sandwich or rolls, or whatever way you like to have it, and have that roughage inside your body. The next component is fats. It is composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen is less in amount. It provides more energy than carbohydrates. Okay, just in case we fall short of carbohydrates, it is the fats that is broken down and the energy is liberated. And it is telling that it gives more energy as compared to the carbohydrates. What are the forms from which we can get carbohydrates? Is butter, cream, vegetable oil, fat, or meat, fish. Fat of meat and fish liver oil. That is the cod liver oil, which we get in the medical as well as in the form of cod liver oil. Okay, fats are made up of fatty acids and glycerol. These are the components of fats. Fats, they produce energy. No doubt that when it is broken down, it produces energy. A lot of energy is liberated. That is why it is an important storage form of food. It serves as a solvent, a mixing medium for the vitamins. Okay, that is another importance of the fats. And fat under skin protects the body. It forms a cushion, protective insulation or shock absorbing medium. Right. Next is proteins. It is large. These are the large chemical molecules. Okay, they have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. It's very important, nitrogen in this. Some may have sulfur and phosphorus elements joined with them, along with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, and they are made up of amino acids. They are stored in the body in the form of amino acids. The function of proteins it mainly provides chemical material for growth and repair of the body cells and tissues. That is why you people need proteins and carbs in more amounts. Why? Because you need it for the growth of your bones, growth of your muscles, and in case of emergency they break down to obtain energy as well. If fats go scarce, if carbohydrates are vanished, then it comes down to the proteins and they can also provide you some kind of energy. The sources of proteins we all are aware are fish, eggs, cheese, nuts, beans, peas, etc. So, what are the things that may lead to the deficiency? Which kind of diseases can be formed in case there is a protein deficiency? That is what we are going to see. Uh, First is Washiorkor. It is a severe deficiency disease, mainly in the young children. Okay, normally happens when the breastfeeding is stopped at a very young age. Breastfeeding is done at a very young age. Okay, what happens is when the breastfeeding is stopped, the child may suffer from the proper amounts of the protein, and the symptoms of these are underweight. The child may go underweight, belly protruding out, skin getting dark and scaly. There's a lot of loss of appetite, and that means you do not feel like eating anything, and there's a stunted growth. How are you supposed to control and treat this? So give obviously the protein rich diet in the form of pulses, milk, egg, fish, meat, a mixed diet of grain, soya bean, jaggery, wheat. We Indians are very good in this. The women cook very nice nutritious meals for the babies, okay, just in case the breastfeeding is stopped for some reason. The second deficiency disease that may happen is MRMS. It affects below age of 1 year. It is due to deficiency of fats, carbohydrates, and proteins altogether. It is caused due to sudden stoppage of breastfeeding, also lack of carbohydrates, fats, proteins. What are the symptoms? Again, here it is body loss. The body weight is lost, and it leads to weak body. You see, there is no muscle building, so the skin is loosely folded, the face is thin, the limbs are thin, and the ribs appear very prominent because there is no covering of those muscles or the fats there. How are we supposed to control and treat this? Obviously by giving food that is rich in proteins and carbs. Okay, now next what we are going to see is the next food group, that is you can say in minimum amount we require them, but they are very important. Those are mineral salts. Okay, they are required in small quantities. The table salt which we have is the sodium chloride thing, and main source of minerals are fruits and vegetables. That is why your parents, whenever they say that have this fruit or eat this vegetable in the form of sabji or whatever it is, salads and all, you are supposed to listen, because they give you very important mineral salts. Okay, mainly what do they have? Calcium and phosphorus. What are they required for? So for bones and teeth, clotting of blood. See what important functions they carry. Phosphorus required during energy production, that is during the breakdown of this when the energy is released in the form of ATP molecules and stored in your mitochondria. Sources of these mineral salts are milk, meat, eggs, fish, pulses. Okay, then what are the minerals like we are supposed to have? Like, see, iron. Why? Because it forms hemoglobin. Its deficiency leads to anemia. What are the sources? Green leafy vegetables, the liver, part of the meat actually. Iodine, this is another mineral in proper working for proper working of the thyroid gland, which controls most of your metabolism processes. Sources are vegetables and mineral water. Next is potassium and sodium for cell permeability. You understand that permeability, where the things are allowed or only certain things are allowed to enter into the cells. And source is most foods and table salt. Okay. Next food group being the vitamins. They are again required in small amounts. They act as enzymes or catalysts for reactions. Enzymes or catalysts are something that will add up the process, speed up the process, okay, help the process of the chemical reactions to happen. So some are obtained from the food, some are obtained inside they are formed inside the body, in fact. Okay, vitamins like A, D, E, and K are fat soluble and so be stored for a long period in the body. And vitamins like B1, B2, etc., and C are water soluble and so cannot be stored for a long time as they get excreted out through the water. So, and also remember that excess of vitamins may be harmful. Children, from the exam point of view, this is always asked in the paper. Okay, which are water soluble vitamins and which are the fat soluble vitamins. So kindly please study this properly. Okay, now that we are done with all the major food groups, okay, the carbohydrates, proteins, fats, we are done with mineral salts. The next coming is water, which is also very important for various functions. It is very crucial. Okay, why is it crucial? Because many things are depending on in water when we have it, when we consume it. Okay, see, 2/3 of our body is water that we have been learning since lower classes. So these are the functions it carries out. It acts as a solvent for many substances. It is used to produce digestive juices. It transports digested food and oxygen. It is a transport medium. Also, it excretes out certain unwanted substances. That is another important thing. Otherwise, things can go toxic inside the body. And it maintains the body temperature. Again, a very important thermoregulation is being carried out by water. Okay, we have a certain body temperature, and water helps to maintain that. It is lost, okay, and it is supposed to be replaced very often. We lose water in the form of sweat, right? So it is to be replaced by often consuming water in proper amounts. See, drink lots of water and juices to make up the lost amount. Now let us come to the last part of it. So all of these make up a very balanced diet. But what is it? A diet which contains all the principal constituents of food in proper amount. This we have seen it at the beginning of the lesson as well. Okay, so one should have sufficient amount of calories. That is what counts basically. A calorie is the amount of heat required to the temperature of water by 1 degree to raise the temperature. Sorry, the word is missing out. A calorie is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram, that is the weight of water, by 1 degree. That is counted as a calorie. Okay, now this definition is again important. We have studied somewhere, I don't know which grade, but we do have this calorie definition. And then what is a unit of calorie is kilocalorie, and 1 kilocalorie is going to be equal to say 1000 calories. Now each food group, whatever you consume, it gives you certain amount of calories. So it is all the game of these calories that goes inside the body. So if you go to a particular dietitian, he or she is going to provide with you a diet plan that is very much suitable for you at your age, depending on your gender, depending on your lifestyle. So that is what is going to give you a balanced diet. Now, if you're not going to have a balanced diet or some of the other food group is missing, there is something called as malnutrition. Okay, so it is a condition in which a person suffers due to lack of deficiency of one or more essential elements of food. What are those essential elements? Like carbohydrates, proteins, okay, mostly minerals, vitamins. If you're going to miss out, we see that our body after it starts aging, we come up with so many health problems. So when you're at this age of growth, children, please see that you maintain your diet properly. It is at most important to stay away from the infections and the diseases that may happen later. Okay, now that is the end of the lesson basically. So I'm just asking you also to learn the table 10.2 about the micronutrients and the macronutrients. At least 3-4 questions come from this table. There's another table 10.3 in which fat soluble and water soluble vitamins and minerals are mentioned, the functions, the symptoms, or whatever is required, what are the sources, everything is given. All the parameters are important. So all of you are going to refer these two tables. I cannot include them over here, and the internet doesn't have a very specific information related to it. So it is a textbook or the PDF you have to refer and prepare yourself well. Children, that is all about the lesson. Meet you all in the next lesson. Have a very nice day. Stay home, stay safe.